Hello, Toads and Toadettes. Star Fox as a franchise is in a bit of a poor situation currently. Ever since Star Fox 64, the most well-acclaimed Star Fox game, Miyamoto has decided to change up either the controls, the mechanics, or the gameplay to make Star Fox interesting. But obviously, all this has done is hurt Star Fox as a franchise, and now we have not seen a Star Fox game in 7 years. Today I want to go over what went wrong for Star Fox and what is the good next step for Star Fox as a franchise. Without further ado, let's get into it. Star Fox was a well-acclaimed and well-respected franchise all the way up until the release of Star Fox Adventures. First, I want to give a little brief summary of the pre-Adventures era of Star Fox, which is what I'm going to call it, and that is Star Fox, Star Fox 2, and Star Fox 64. Starting with the first one, Star Fox on the SNES was the one that obviously started it all, and basically the gameplay scheme is you're in your R-Wing and you can just shoot down stuff. There's some certain moves you can do. You might recognize the barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll!
And other stuff like that. Star Fox is a pretty good game for the SNES. It's impressive with what it was able to accomplish. It's just a game that I'm not personally looking to come back to, as it is a little bit clunky on the graphics side. Star Fox 2 was basically what you would expect from a sequel. More characters to play as, new stuff, and actually, fun fact, wasn't even released until 2017 despite it being an SNES game. It is currently only released on the SNES Classic Edition and also on the SNES app for Nintendo Switch Online. Personally, I think this is a little bit of a better game. The graphics are still a little clunky though. Follows the same game scheme though, which is good because it is a good game scheme. Now getting to the one everyone loves, probably the peak for Star Fox's franchise, is Star Fox 64. It basically perfected the gameplay formula that the first two games established, and basically in the story mode you can take whatever kind of path you want just as long as it takes you to Andross. I love how you can mix and match your different routes to get to Andross. I love that mechanic. The game is also heavily based on getting your high score, as the story mode can be beaten in like 2 hours. It's a very short story mode, but obviously the replayability here is massive. Now you could be like, wow, these games sound pretty fun. What could have happened to Star Fox? Well, the answer to that, my friends, is Star Fox Adventures for the Nintendo GameCube. I'm going to be naming this era the bad era of Star Fox. Star Fox Adventure, instead of following on what Miyamoto was doing well, he decided to change it up, and Star Fox Adventures focuses mainly on story and ground gameplay. You don't get basically any R-Wing gameplay. You're more in the Landmaster tank, which has been in Star Fox 64, but this game is primarily about that, or just roaming around as Fox McCloud. While it's cool to experiment with your franchises, this formula just did not mix well with Star Fox. There was Star Fox Assault, which was coming back more to the formula we were used to, but it still just never really went back to what Star Fox 64 was able to accomplish. There was also Star Fox Command, and then eventually a remake of Star Fox 64 came out for the Nintendo 3DS, Star Fox 64 3D, which is in my opinion the definitive version of the game and the best Star Fox game. But besides that, after that was Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard. Star Fox Guard is not mainline though. Star Fox Zero is known for being pretty close to Star Fox 64, but there is just one thing they did not nail, and Miyamoto wanted to do this on purpose, and that is the controls. You are forced to use the Wii U gamepad to control the R-Wing, and at some parts this can get very awkward and can turn a lot of people off the game. Personally, for me, I am not the biggest fan of the controls either. I think they should have done a mode where you can just use the joysticks on the gamepad and then also have this gamepad feature for the one guy who actually enjoyed the controls in this game. But besides, this game had huge potential and could have been a savior for the franchise, but instead ended up being the worst selling game for Star Fox. So now I want to talk about my second part that I had in mind, and what is the next correct step for Miyamoto in Star Fox. We have seen apparently Star Fox leaks, but they look really good, and for me, as a Star Fox fan, I just want to say, don't do that, don't give me hope. The leaks aside, I want to go into more personal thoughts of what can make a good Star Fox game. Obviously, after 64, the next games have not been the best, but they have introduced new cool characters that I think could definitely have their place in this Star Fox game. Especially people like Crystal would be cool to see come back to the next game. I just think the importance and presence in the story should be toned down a little bit, as Crystal was a little bit kind of awkward and forced into Star Fox's story. But the story aside, I want to get into the two biggest things that have been making Star Fox not as good ever since 64 was launched into the public, and that is the controls and the gameplay. The controls were the only thing that were holding Star Fox Zero back from being what everyone wanted it to be. If Miyamoto would leave the controls alone, Star Fox would have a very, very promising next game, as Star Fox Zero nailed everything else, like I said, just besides the controls. Its co-op was good, its story was pretty decent, its graphics were pretty good, the controls killed it. Bring back the Star Fox 64 3D controls. I feel like the use of the trigger buttons was really good. Just every button in general was used very good and very smoothly. Maybe it was because of just the 3DS, but I felt like every button was used wisely in Star Fox 64 3D. Next, let's discuss about the gameplay. He tried something new with Star Fox Adventures, and that is completely fine. Even though Star Fox Adventures ended up being a horrible disaster and a disgrace to humanity, that's besides, it was good that Miyamoto was trying something new with Star Fox. Just don't do it again, and obviously, he did not learn his lesson. Do something similar with a story where you can basically choose your own route to getting to the end, but maybe expand upon the story. Instead of making the game focused on getting high scores for each planet and discovering each planet, and getting secret exits and all this to get to other planets, keep that, but also make the story mode longer. I think it'd be cool if Star Fox was separated into galaxies, with planets inside them, and different worlds that you can tackle on, and different routes can lead you to different galaxies. I don't know, maybe this is just a little preference that I would like to see, but I honestly think it would be sick. I also think the battle mode should return from Star Fox 64 3D. Also, co-op was really good in Star Fox Zero, and I think this battle mode should incorporate online play as well, as the battle mode is honestly one of my highlights for Star Fox as a franchise. And obviously, I'm not saying that they should not just let go of the free play mechanics for each planet. I still think there should be a thing with high scores and medals involved to challenge and embrace more single-player content. One last thing I want to mention for my hopes in the next Star Fox game. Obviously, you can see I'm not the most nitpicky person or wanting Star Fox person. I'm more just want to return to the Star Fox 64 formula rather than switching either a gameplay mechanic up or control scheme up. I think we should just return to Star Fox 64. But one last thing, like I was saying, I want to see Star Fox 2's different captains return. It doesn't have to be the exact same captains that were in Star Fox 2, but it would be cool to see more character customization, and maybe with some different stats on each character that can affect gameplay. I think this would honestly be really cool, and it would be really cool to see these in battle mode. See what you can experiment with, which character is going to be better for your playstyle. Something like this, something similar to Mario Kart would be really cool to see. And there you go, Toads and Toadettes. That is what I believe Star Fox should do for its next game, and honestly where I saw its downfall take place. I would love to hear what you guys think should be in the next Star Fox game, or what steps Miyamoto should take for the next Star Fox game, as it is something cool to discuss, as Star Fox has been taken in a very weird direction by Miyamoto. But yeah, thank you for listening to my opinion on what Miyamoto should take for the next Star Fox game. I do have other Nintendo-related content on my channel. If you guys are interested in that, I do other speculation videos. And no, I do not do on speculation videos. I just do speculation videos. If you did like this video, please consider liking and maybe even subscribing. It's free. It makes me happy. It makes you happy. Definitely should maybe try it out. Maybe it'll work. You never know. But with that out of the way, I will see you guys in the next one.